Good afternoon from the Renewable Centre Stadium, home of Briton Ferry Llansawel, and welcome to our live match today on Sgorio, where Bala Town are the visitors. Llanelli's defeat against Haverfordwest last night confirmed their relegation from the JD Cymru Premier, so it's a case of one down, one to go, with these two teams certainly in the mix to join Llanelli in falling out of the league. Now the fourth table favours Andy Dyer's men. Briton Ferry have lost only one of their last 6 matches, while Steve Fisher's Bala Town have only won one of their last 10. Last season, Bala Town finished in the top half. They finished 6th, whereas Briton Ferry finished 10th. Now, team news. Briton Ferry, Andy Dyer keeps faith with the team that drew 0-0 away at Flint Town United last Saturday. They're unchanged for the second game in a row, with Ollie Walters and Ollie Anderson and Tom Waters up front.
Yeah, Andy Dyer's gone for 3 at the back with Fanning, Cooper and Gand, and then 3 in midfield, Price, Williams and Owen, and then Walters and Anderson up front, who were a big threat for Andy's team going forward.
Steve Fisher, well, he makes 4 changes, 3 forced from the side that lost disappointingly 3-0 away at Haverfordwest last weekend. In come Will Bell, Harry Dean, Losana Mendes and Hussein Mehaseb. Injured Josh Samuels, Louis Hall, Sam Billington's ill, Connor Evans on the bench.
Yeah, Steve Fisher's gone for a 4-2-3-1 situation, and 4 at the back, Will Bell and Ross White and Burke in midfield, which is going to give them plenty of experience and some strength there.
Now this is the live table. Confirmation of Llanelli's demotion. If Briton Ferry win, they go to 32 points. If Flint win, they go to 31 points. And there could be a 6-point gap to Met from Bala Town. Now you heard the voice, and I'm really pleased to be in the company of former Bala Town manager Colin Caton, who joins me for live commentary on this match. And Col, welcome, and I'm sure you've got mixed emotions watching this game.
Yeah, thanks very much for being available to come and commentate on the game, and obviously it's quite difficult to commentate on Bala, and hopefully they can get a result, but Andy Dyer's a good friend, so hope the game's shared today.
And the weather, as you can see, not ideal. There was a pitching section, by the way, at 10:30 this morning. Our referee is Mr. Rob Jenkins of Shrewsbury, and he deemed that the pitch was playable. There is standing water down below the camera as the ball's launched into the box, and Fuller just thought it was Torrance rather who was underneath the ball, and Joel Torrance ever present. Butterfingers there, Col?
Yeah, Joel's an excellent goalkeeper. I'm not sure if he's foul there, but I think he's quite harsh to get away with that one, really. He's lucky that the free kick's given. I'm not sure if it was. But Joel's a good keeper, and he's been a good servant for Bala, especially this season. Yeah.
And Joel Torrance and Will Fuller, 2 of 6 players who have played every second of every game in the JD Cymru Prem this season. Kit Margison of Connors Quay, Harry Owen of Flint, Rhys Abruzzi of Haverfordwest, and CJ Craven of Cardiff Met, the other players. And quite testimony to Joel Torrance, Col, isn't it? That he's played every single second of every game.
Yeah, signed Joel start of last season, and he was living up at Bolton at the time, so the travelling he did by himself was absolutely excellent towards his commitment and everything that he showed Bala. And this season he's moved to Whitchurch, and his commitment's been really good again.
Ball flashed across the box. Just now Tom Price is there. The ball just runs away with Hussein Mehaseb after it, and it's just allowed to run out by Louis Bates. This is Tom Price to bait. Price, he had too much space on the far side there to get that ball in. As once again for Bates, just lets it run out as Harry Dean, number 44, one of the 4 changes made by Steve Fisher. And if ever there was a 6-pointer, Cole, this is it.
Yeah, I've spoke to Fisher in the week, and he's feeling the pressure a little bit, and it's important. The result's important for everybody. You know, it's important for Briton Ferry, because if they Bala claw them back into touch, then it's going to be a sticky situation for everybody, really.
Long throw. The almost 7-foot Egyptian Hussein Mahasib with the headed clearance. And it was Cian Jenkins with the long throw, and he'll get another opportunity as we played 3 minutes. Momentum with the home side in the opening minute. In it comes again, and it's Mahasib. It's deja vu. In it comes from Tom Price. Nelson Digba with a header. Lasana Mendes, and then it's Olamide Ibrahim who plays the ball out. Now Cameron Ferguson just loping forward. It's headed away. Back in by Price again. Jenkins with a header. It's a bit untidy in midfield. Either side being able just to assert their authority on the game in the opening minutes as Jack Fanning concedes the throw-in.
Yeah, I think Briton Ferry have started really well on the front foot, and I think this is the first time Bala really have got in the Briton Ferry half. I know there's only 3 or 4 minutes just gone, but you know, they've had them pinned back in, and you know, good clearance by Ross White there has got Bala up the field, so you know, they're in a promising position now.
John Owen with the long ball looking for Cameron Ferguson, and it's Price just clears the ball away. Owen forward by the Bala captain Nathan Burke. Steadying influence in midfield, as he has been for seasons, Carl, isn't he, Nathan Burke? He's been a really, really good servant to the club.
Yeah, Nathan, we signed him from Morrington many years ago, and he'd been at Liverpool all his career. He's got a great pedigree of a footballer, and his attitude and commitment towards Bala over the years has been second to none, and he's a massive leader for them. He missed quite a lot of games through suspension in January, and he's back now, and hopefully, you know, Nathan will be a big presence for them if they're going to try and get out of the troubled position that they're in.
Now John Owen starting the match at right back. We'll discuss that later on. Moving from the forward line where he has been more recently, and he just lifts the ball over to the far side, and Will Fuller, that will be comfortable. Yeah, John Owen, when we looked at the team sheet, Carl, and you'd had a word with Steve Fisher, I know, and he'd given you the formation, and eyebrows were raised when John Owen appeared in the right back position.
Yeah, over the years I've never really seen him as a defensive player, but apparently he did really well for Aberystwyth last season as a centre back, and he's just been caught out of position there, to be fair, and he's given away a foul. I'm not sure if it'll be a booking as well, so it's he's just given a foul away in a really bad area to concede a free kick.
A forwards challenge. Oh, there wasn't a lot in. To be fair to John Owen.
Yeah, I think the lad falls before John even makes any contact with him. It's not a foul, really.
No, Cian Jenkins saw him coming. It's Tom Price, Tom Walters, and Cian Jenkins who are standing over this free kick. And if a goal comes from this, Cole, then Steve Fisher, well, he'll be really, really, really. Well, he won't be happy. He'll be angry, I should think. Now then, it's Price. There's space to the left, into the wall. Struck an arm, but it wasn't in an unnatural position. And justice served there, I'd say. Gammond plays the ball into the box, headed away by Will Bell. In again by Jenkins, comfortable for Torrance. And well, the outcome, as it should be there, Cole.
Yeah, I think it was a poor free kick. Tom Price has got real quality, but you know, he's hit them in the midriff there, and not even tried to get it over the wall. But conditions and you know, and things there, it's awkward to get the ball down and hit good balls at the moment. Everything's up in the air and scrappy.
Well, here it is, that challenge. Yeah. Well, both going for it, both number 8s. That's going to be a tasty encounter in midfield, isn't it? The two number 8s. The captain, Nathan Burke for Bala, Tom Price, two wily characters.
Yeah, Nathan Burke is a feisty player, and Tom Price is as well, ex-Cardiff Met. But Ricky Owen as well, both of them are two good centre midfield pairings together.
Yeah, good pairings, good challenges all over the pitch. As Jenkins just loses out to Ibrahim. Now Ulsana Mendes down to Cameron Ferguson, he's got Olamide Ibrahim ahead of him, but across came Jack Fanning. And the Swansea loanee just comfortable there as it's played back by Will Bell. Walters, he was looking for the run again there of Kieran Williams as Mahaseb just eases the number 2, Louis Bates. Shoving
Hussein caught the wrong side of him there, and he's pulled him back. He should have been pre-acting before the ball come, really, and he shouldn't have been the other side of the defender, and he's put his team under pressure again now with another ball coming into the box.
And it's Tom Price, an opportunity just to lift the ball to the far post, and it was John Owen, good defending, and the pressure from Tom Walters as Jack Fanning just ushers the ball out, throw in, and no doubt Cian Jenkins will just come over. And there'll be another long one coming in. And I know you had a word, as you said, with Andy Dyer, and he was a little bit concerned, wasn't he, with the physicality and the height of the Bala players.
Yes, but they've done really well. If anybody's caused them problems, Briton Ferry have put the ball into the Bala box on many occasions here. So
good play, and in it comes again.
It's a great ball.
Really good play, cleared away by, I think it was Harry Dean who was up there. And it falls again for Ollie Anderson, but cleared away. And Bala just having trouble crossing the halfway line. And it's Cameron Ferguson, he's got Ibrahim ahead of him, but poor ball. And it's comfortably dealt with by Briton Ferry Digbert as well. And Dean just gives the ball away. An opportunity for Louis Bates down the left-hand side looking for the run of Cian Jenkins. Opportunity here for Briton Ferry. John Owen with the defensive duties. Oh, he's fooled by Jenkins into the box, cleared away by it was Ross White who was there. And Ross White, Cole, just sitting in front of that back four, isn't he? Just doing the defensive midfield role. Yeah,
Nathan Burke and Ross White sitting left and right of each other as the two screeners there. It's, you know, Fish will put them there to shore them up so they don't concede. They don't want to put themselves under pressure early, so they would have put them there as a 2 not to try and concede early in the game.
Cleared away by Burke. Ferguson just held up by Jack Fanning. Does well there. There's Cameron Ferguson to John Owen. Owen just dwells on the ball under pressure from Ollie Anderson, and then it's Torrance under pressure. Back again by it was Luke Cooper who was back there, former Barry player. Now Bates in the wing back position, and good defending by Harry Dean, and it's out for a goal kick to Bala.
Yeah, Harry Dean's done well there. He's done well going in for the challenge and give them a bit of a breathing space to get them up the field, and Joel to take the goal kick, which can get him up the field now. And Steve Fisher wearing a pair of shorts. He never ever wears tracksuit bottoms. He's always got his shorts on. Yep. He's a lot braver than me with the conditions coming down there.
I was just going to say, never saw you in your shorts, Colin Caton.
No, I had better legs than him, but
but we didn't get to see them.
Too cold.
Fanning, Ibrahim, Olamide Ibrahim just shoved off the ball unceremoniously. Walters, likewise by John Owen. Just a little bit scrappy at the moment, and I shouldn't think that the surface is helping. You know, it's cutting up, you can see that, and because of all the rain as well.
Yeah, there's quite a few players that have lost their footing so far in the game, and John Owen there slipped after he he tried to play the ball away, and it's gonna be careful that they don't lose their footing in and around the box, because it could lead to a good chance for somebody to score. So it's important that they've got the right footwear and everything on, which it doesn't look like with a few of them, the way they're slipping and sliding about.
Well, last night, confirmation that Llanelli, the Dan Hawkins goal for Haverfordwest sent Llanelli down, and it was the New Saints who came out 2-1 victors against Caernarfon. And then this afternoon at 2:30 in the top 6, it's Colwyn Bay against Penybont, and Barry Town, after their excellent 2-0 victory away at Caernarfon last week, entertaining Connors Quay. And then the other game in the bottom 6, Flint against Cardiff, met. And well, every game from now on after today, I think there's 6 or 7 games left, Colin, and every game there's going to be something on each one, isn't there?
Yeah, I'm not sure about the format changing with the league and stuff. I think the 12 is really successful and really entertaining. So over the next few weeks of games, there's relegation, there's promotion, there's positions for European playoff positions, fighting for them places. So I think it's a really good setup that they've done. You know, it'll be interesting to see if they make the 16 format work as well as what this has, and I think it's worked well over the years, and I'm not sure I'd change it.
Cian Jenkins with the throw-in. This is Luke Cooper, just joined last month from Newport City for a former Barry Town player. And he'll shore up that. Luke Cooper's always struck me as a very, very hard centre-back.
Yeah, Luke knows the league like the back of his hand. He's played so many games for Barry, and I was shocked that he left Barry, but Andy's done well with his recruitment in bringing Luke in with his experience, strength, and he's a typical Welsh Prem centre-half, and he's done well here. He's composed in the back four, and he's a very good player to have and a great addition for their squad.
Good run by Fangin out to Jenkins. Jenkins whips the ball to the far side. Burke just sliced the ball, and then it was Ross White with the clearance. Ferguson back on the edge of his own penalty area. There's John Owen, clears the long ball upfield, looking for Lasana Mendes, playing out on the right hand side as we expected. Lasana Mendes, Burke, Anderson just shoved off the ball by John Owen. So approaching the 15-minute mark, Colin, and would you say that it's the home side who had the better of things?
Yeah, definitely. Bala have struggled. Cameron Ferguson's broke a couple of times, but give bad possession away. Well, give the ball away twice, really. But apart from that, Bala really haven't made inroads into Briton Ferry's half. But Briton Ferry have dominated the second balls, and it's just who's picking up second balls at the moment. And Briton Ferry look the stronger team, and you know, Bala are just hanging on to compete against it at the moment, and they need to get themselves up the pitch.
Llansawel 1 defeat in 6. Bala 1 win in 10. So the home side, well, you could say the form side of the two. And Bala just can't buy a victory at the moment. Headed away by Cian Jenkins, and Fanning was there as well. Uncomfortable for Will Bell. Just a bit of head tennis at the moment. Digbert just steps in. Ibrahim with a loose touch. This is Jenkins once again.
Yeah, I think Ballard have changed their shape. I think Ross White's gone in as a right back, and John Owen's gone in as a centre midfield player. With centre midfield player with Nathan Burke, so I think they've put Ross White there because I think John Owens struggled a little bit with that free kick that he conceded on the edge of the box, and they seem to be getting down this left-hand side. So I think Steve Fisher's changed it and brought, you know, the experience of Ross White into the right back position and moved John into midfield, which he spotted at an early stage of the game, which, you know, fair play to Fish on spotting that.
Yep, sensible amendment.
Yeah, definitely. Ross is a top player and a top person as well. So Ross will give you everything. He'll hopefully show them up on as the right back and try and stop the wave of attack coming down this left hand side for Briton Ferry.
Torrance
Steve Fisher would have spotted that, with Steve being left back most of his career and all his career really, so he'd make that, he'd spot that, with naturally him being a left back in his day.
And of course your assistant, Col, from June 2019, so you looked after him for 6 or 7 years?
Steve,
or he looked after you?
Steve Fisher was assistant manager for me for 19 years.
Was he?
Yeah, and as a player, he came as a player when we were in the Cymru Alliance, and he was a captain the team for many seasons, and then he didn't like the...
Oh, there's a handball there, surely handball by Will Bell. That's what Ollie Anderson is demanding. No VAR, Colin Caton.
No, well, I think they look very, very lucky that they haven't got any VAR here. He's caught it on his elbow, and I'm not sure if it's a push by Anderson, but Will Bell's got away with one there, and Bala definitely got away with a definitely penalty that maybe they should have had.
Yeah, confirmation there is no VAR, and it looked that it was just inside the box. And definitely in an unnatural position. And I hope to introduce VAR next season, trial this year. And the assistant referees on that far side as well, Colin. You would have had a clear view of it. Price looking for Anderson. Last touch off.
Yeah, definitely the linesman's got to help the referee out there, but it was on Will Bell's left hand, so maybe his body was in between the handball and the linesman, so maybe it's overcritical maybe to ask the linesman to help him out if he's not seeing it. But like to say, they've got away with one there, and they'll be happy to move on and try and defend this now, and try and get themselves up the Briton Ferry half of the game.
And I think that's what the number 4, Alex Gammond, the captain of Briton Ferry, just having a word with referee Rob Jenkins there. Now, Cian Jenkins, ever present this season for Briton Ferry. He'll curl this one in, left-footed, whips it into the near post. That was a really good one, and again the height of Hussein Mahaseb and the Digba falls for Tom Price. Up to Jenkins once again, heavy touch from Cian Jenkins, and it remains 0-0, approaching the 20-minute mark. Briton Ferry, Llansawel 0, Bala Town 0.
Yeah, I think Hussein's done really, really well there to clear the near post corner into the box, and obviously they've cleared their lines again, but they've got to start making inroads to try and get up the field, or they can't. It's inevitable. If they absorb so much pressure, they're gonna concede.
Now, just remind you, tomorrow it's the final of the Adran Trophy. The ladies, Wrexham ladies against Cardiff ladies, live on S4C. Programme starts at 4:45, and the match being played at Nantporth in Bangor, and that'll be a cracking game. Two good teams, Wrexham and Cardiff ladies. Two form teams in the Adran Janeiro. Fanning all forward, looking for the number 6, Kieran Williams. Ferguson to Mahaseb. Two big men up front as the ball's played forward by Tom Price, looking for Ollie Anderson. And just too much on it. And the ball just skipping off the surface, so it's so slippery and wet.
Yeah, it's wet down this bottom corner by Ross White now, but Ross White's covering there on his understanding of the game. He was in a really good position if Anderson was to get it, whereas John Owen wouldn't have seen that when he was there, so Ross has done really well there, and I would throw in deep in their half.
Bala have had 2 long journeys, 2 last games. Haverfordwest last weekend, and down here. Would they have travelled down last night, Col?
Yeah, they travelled down last night and stayed in the hotel. I'm not sure where they stayed, but it's difficult for them to travel on the day with a 12:30 kickoff. And then obviously last week they were in Haverfordwest, which it's expecting players to take half a day's work. And then having spoke to Steve Fisher and Andy Dyer about Friday night games, it's a big major problem for lads travelling back in cars and stuff. And I think they got back at 3 o'clock in the morning, which, having fatigued and tiredness and stuff, somebody driving the car, I think it's got to be looked at before this Friday night thing is agreed, really, if it's not already been agreed.
Yeah, that is that's the rumour for next season when we go to the 16 teams, that most games will be played on a Friday night, with the odd game on a Saturday. That's what we understand. Rain is really teeming down, and forecast was correct. Rain moving in as we are halfway exactly through the first half. I should think, Col, that Steve Fisher will be more than happy that they haven't conceded yet. Anderson plays the ball in, and it was the header. It was Cian Jenkins who was up from the back with the header, and that's the first real save that Joel Torrance has had to make.
Yeah, Cian Jenkins is drifted in as the left wing back, and a comfortable header into Joel Torrance's hands, and a good move in the first. I think it's the first opportunity on goal, or the first save that one of the keepers has made. So you know, it's difficult playing. The pitch is difficult to play on at the moment, and you know, that's the first chance, and hopefully we can get a few more chances to liven the game up a little bit.
And at the other end, will there be work? There could be here for Will Fuller, who's been largely in trouble, but Losana Mendes, well, you saw earlier on he came back from an offside position, and once again he just drifted, and that's got to be you must be so frustrated, Col, when you saw something like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was offside. I might be wrong, but I'm not sure if he was offside there.
Especially where he's placing the ball.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Luke Cooper there is more or less... Luke Cooper was far back there. I'm not sure about that one, but the linesman's in a better position than me.
And that's a sign of it for the the rain in Briton Ferry. The cloth was required. May see that more than once this afternoon. Cian Jenkins, he's had the best opportunity so far. Needed the save from Joel Torrance a moment or so ago. He's drifting into the penalty area. There's Mendes back doing the defensive work, and then Will Bell with the clearance. Mehaseb, the unmistakable figure of Hussein Mehaseb. He's a commentator's dream, is Hussein Mehaseb. Not sure about the managers.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I had him for a bit when I was at Bala, but Steve's brought him back. You know, his goal-scoring record's second to none, really, and his chances he takes in training, and he's such a good finisher. But you know, he needs to offer the team a lot more than what he's doing at the moment, and Lasse Mendes, because the ball's just coming back, and Cameron Ferguson as well. They've got to hold on to the ball so that Bala can get up the field. The three of them, it's just coming back, and they need to be stronger and get hold of it to give them a platform.
Top scorer Hussein Mehaseb, 7 goals this season, one of 4 changes made by Steve Fisher for today's game. 3 have been forced, with Josh Samuels and Louis Hall injured, Sam Billington ill, and Connor Evans, he's on the bench. Those are the 4 changes from the team that lost 3-0 away at Haverfordwest last week, and it's Will Bell, Harry Dean, Mendes and Mehaseb who are the changes, and it's Mehaseb with the ball forward looking for Cameron Ferguson. Ferguson fanning. Well, he's getting the better of Cameron Ferguson, is Jack Fanning, as Mendes looks again for Mehaseb. Mehaseb, well, he's always going to get those balls into the box, but well, couldn't direct it towards Cameron Ferguson, and it's comfortable for Will Fuller, who's having well, a very wet but very comfortable afternoon so far.
Yeah, there's been quite a lot of balls played up into the channels for Cameron Ferguson, but Jack Fanning has done really well. He looks a really good player. First time I've seen him, really, but he's coped with everything they've thrown at him with ease, and here he is again on the ball, and he's done really well. And, you know, he's in control of the back, and they just haven't had the chance to get forward.
Yeah, on loan from Swansea, Jack Fanning. As the ball's just played into the box, cleared away by John Owen, and as you said, Cole, just changed position with Nathan Burke, and he's just sitting in front of that back 4 with Ross White, as Olamide Ibrahim, and oh, yeah, just recognises his error there.
Yeah, it's difficult. I'm not sure if John Owen's a holding midfield player. They might be better putting Lasse Mendes into midfield and moving John Owen into a more attacking position. But you know, Steve knows more about the players this season than what I do. But you know, Lasse's a really good established centre midfield player, and John could give them pace and strength up front where they could hold on to it.
Yeah, that's the reasonable change, I suppose, isn't it? And I think that John Owen may be more attack-minded than Lasse Mendes, but there we go. Steve Fisher knows what he's doing. As it's just played forward by Ricky Lee Owen. Bates, ball whipped across by Tom Price, and it goes out for a corner kick.
Yeah, they. Harry Dean backs off here. He should confront him as soon as he controls the ball and he backs off. He should go and confront him. He's inviting him into the box for a shot.
Yeah, it was Will Bell who concedes the corner kick. Yet another corner kick for Briton Ferry. Cian Jenkins again to take it. Remember, this afternoon in the bottom six, it's Flint Town United against Cardiff Met. That's the 2:30 kick-off at the Essity Stadium. And in the top six, it's Barry Town against Connors Quay. That's a big match. And then Colwyn Bay against Penabont. 2:30 kick-offs. Here, it's goalless. Taken quickly, launched in by Louis Bates. It's a deep one. There was a shove on Tom Price. It goes down. Tom Walters initially just lets the ball run out. Kieran Williams to Tom Price. And I think they're winning that midfield battle at the moment, Cole, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they've won the majorities of most battles. Briton Ferry, to be fair, it's just that final pass and that final bit of composure.
Was there a push here? Let's have a look. Just have a look at. Well, it was Ibrahim on Tom Price. Not a lot in that either.
No, I think Tom Price has gone over too easily, and maybe if he stayed on his feet, he could have had a headed chance at goal. But he's gone over looking for it. So when you do that, for me, you don't deserve it, really.
The voice of Colin Caton, former Bala Town manager. Over 800 games, Col?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think 860, 870, but with friendlies and other stuff, I think we're nearly not far off 1,000. But that's on now. Move forward. It's gone. Sorry.
Half an hour played. And it's goalless. Now then, Lasse Mendes. Now there's an opportunity. He's got Mehaseb in the middle. Ibrahim with the cross. What a save from Will Fuller from the header from Hussein Mehaseb. And again, the best opportunity for the visitors. What a save from Fuller, who's been largely unemployed in this first half as Digber launches the ball forward once again. Falls for Olamide Ibrahim. What a woeful effort, and we can have a look at that chance again.
Yeah, it's a great move down the right. Lasse Mendes checks there and plays a great ball for Ibrahim, and Hussein, for me, he's got to score. He's headed into the ground. If he gets a better connection, it's 1-0 Bala. But you know, it's people saying it's a good save by Will Fuller, but for me, he's got to take his chance there and head into the corner, or head either corner, high or low. But it's a great chance, and you know, it's two-headed chances at both ends. That's been the two shots at goal so far in the match.
And the rain's still pelting down as the ball just cleared away by Ross White. He was under pressure, and he did well there. So the best opportunity of the match falling to Hussein Mehaseb, and it brought a really good save from Will Fuller. Price. Just things ticking over in midfield where Tom Price is concerned. Cooper out to Louis Bates. Price is there again. He's everywhere, is Tom Price. John Owen just under pressure, just loses out as an opportunity for Ricky Lee Owen. Ricky Lee Owen to Kieran Williams, cleared away by Will Bell. Bates to Fanning in acres of space, and the shout, you could hear it here from Joel Torrance, commanding keeping, exactly what you want as a centre-back.
Yeah, Joel's a great keeper. He's a young lad as well. He's made 1 or 2 mistakes this season, but on the whole, I think he's got quite 8 clean sheets maybe this season, and he's done really well, and he's a pleasure to work with.
Yeah. This is the 8th clean sheet if it stays like this. And when you look at the table, Col, in the bottom 6, Bala have got the best defensive record. They've only conceded 38 goals. Haverfordwest 39, Met 40, Briton Ferry 43, Flint 51, Llanelli 66. So they've got the best defensive records. They just can't put it in the net the other end.
Yeah, definitely. That's been the problem this season for Fish, is that he's had no one to take the pressure off them, and goals change games, change mentalities of players, and change everything. And they can't keep the ball out the net, and then they can't score.
Yellow card for Ollie Anderson. The late challenge on Joel Torrance. Just have a look as it comes through. Oh, yes.
Yeah, he's jumped up. I don't think he's meant it. His momentum's taken him into Joel, but it looked a lot worse than what it was. But, you know, he's a willing young lad with a lot of interest at him at the moment, so he's most probably working really hard to try and get a good move for himself in football, but I don't think he's meant any malice in that. As he's jumped up in the air, his momentum of his body's taken him into Joel, and Joel's accepted it, and a bit harsh, the yellow really, but for me. But another goal kick for Joel. He's been the busiest of the goalkeepers, and you know, this must be about 5 or 6 goal kicks that he's taken so far in the game.
Yeah, we understand that Ollie Anderson, he's just signed a new contract, 18-year-old, and our understanding is that there are scouts, or a scout here from Wolverhampton Wanderers looking at the youngster, and yeah, it was a youthful exuberance that took him into Joel Torrance.
Yeah, it's really good work by Briton Ferry to tie him down, and hopefully that they're tying him down so the club can get something for him if he does move on, and hopefully club and player can benefit from it.
No misunderstanding at the back there, and Jack Fanning and the captain Alex Gammond just came together. There's a head injury here, and he looks okay. Nasty coming together here. Oh, it was an elbow, wasn't it? It was an elbow from Fanning.
Yeah, I think Gammond has got to stay away from that. It was Jay Flanning's header all day long, and he's come across him and cause a problem. He should have just let Flanning with it and got up the field, but 2 people have gone for the same ball. Basics, really.
10 minutes of the first half remaining. Goalless. Briton Ferry 0, Bala Town 0. There's Nelson Digber just clears the ball out. And so far so good where the pitch is concerned. And Nelson Digber once again with the defensive duties. Sticks his foot in. Ball played in by Tom Price, cleared away out of the back. Fanning, long ball again, looking for Walters, and headed on by Jenkins to Anderson. Anderson lays the ball off. Bella played across the box by Ricky Lee Owen, and Tom Walters is so close on the far post to putting the home side ahead.
It's a great layoff here from Anderson as he holds the ball up and lays it into the shot coming in from the angle and cuts it. He hits into the floor really, and Walters nearly gets in at the back stick. It's not a great connection from Ricky Owen there with his shot, but great work by Anderson in the layoff, and Walters nearly gets in at the back stick there.
The best opportunity of the game so far, as we're well into the last 10 minutes. Header from Hussein Mihaseb, draw a really good save as well from Will Fuller. It's definitely Joel Torrance who's been the busier of the two keepers so far. Next opportunity for Briton Ferry from Cian Jenkins' header, which was comfortable for Joel Torrance. Throw in. And again, it's Cian Jenkins. Walters holds the ball up, well played in by Kieran Williams, cleared away only as far as Ricky Leo, and Tom Walters looking for the run of Jenkins once again. And there's some desperate defending at the back there for Bala, and it was Nathan Burke with the clearance.
Yeah, Ballard have defended most of the half, round about in and about the edge of the 18. They're hanging on in there and cleared in their lines, but Briton Ferry have had not really any clear-cut chances really, apart from that shot by Ricky Owen, and you know they haven't really troubled them, and the header by Cian Jenkins. Apart from that, they haven't really caused them any problems with the territory that they've had in that half. You know, Andy Dyer will be looking for them to create more goals scored and opportunities to go and try and get something and win the game.
Alex Gammond looks okay after the just the clash with Jack Fanning. And here he is again, the captain, Alex Gammond. Just launches the ball forward. Ollie Anderson was the target. Cooper, no handball, according to Mr. Jenkins. Headed away by Ross White. Ibrahim with a header. Williams just under pressure, and Olamide Ibrahim, he did well there.
He did. Ross White with a throw in his own half again, and like I say, they've got to try and get themselves. They need to get Briton Ferry turned if they're going to try and get up to that side of the pitch.
Well, we're very rarely looking to the right here, Colin. It's the home side who are pressing.
Yeah, I think it's tough conditions. I think the pitch is holding out really well, but it looks a little bit sticky, and lads look a little bit tired, and it's the rain's relentless really, but it's just fine margins, and who's going to make the first mistake or create that bit of brilliance for them, somebody to get the first goal.
Would a point be a good result for Bala?
Yeah, I think so, depending on the other results if they go their way, but I think they'd take a point now and try and win their home games. If they do that, then they've got a great chance of staying up, but it's a tough game, and there's nothing in it really. The chances have evened out. 2 chances to Briton Ferry, one to Bala.
Well, a point would take them within 3 of Flint Town United. Goal difference would be significantly poorer, and they would hope for a Met victory this afternoon. Let's have a look at this.
Yeah, Paul, the ball over the top. Ross White's round on the cover, and I feel sorry for Anderson there. He's Ross White's stretching more than Anderson pushing him over, and he's got to be careful as well. Obviously, just been booked, that he doesn't see too much of the referee after his booking. But Ross White was in a good area. I'm not sure if it was a foul. He was just stretching to do it, and I think Ross White's bought a free kick more than the referee giving a foul there, really.
Yeah, and not the first instance in the game. We're into the last 5 minutes. There have been 1 or 2 cheap free kicks awarded, and one surefire penalty that wasn't awarded. It was a clear handball from Will Bell halfway through the first half, as Harry Dean just clears the ball away, and it's a throw in. It's Louis Bates. As the rain still falls. Price off Mehaseb. That's one thing, Cole. At least Bala, they're defending as a team. You've got Hussein Mehaseb. He's back in his in the final third, definitely there.
Yeah, both wingers are deep in defensive areas, but they've got to get out of there.
Walters, and it was Ollie Anderson, and that has to go down as an opportunity for the youngster.
Yeah, it's a great ball in, and Ollie Anderson's caught it too well, really, and caught it too early. It's a great ball, whipped with venom, and Ollie Anderson's got to direct it more there. Will Bell's got to come across the front of him to stop him having a free header there as well. He can't give the lad a free header if he hits the target. It's in.
Next match for Bala Town next Friday they will be home against relegated Llanelli. And that could be a difficult match, Cole, couldn't it? Because Llanelli, they'll have nothing to play for. They can play with freedom, and that's always a dangerous team to play against.
Yeah, Terry Boyle, who hasn't been in the job long, he'll start setting himself up ready for the season ahead next season, and what's gone's gone now, and he'll start building and let them play with a bit of enjoyment and see if they can go and get some results to build on something for next season. So Terry's a very experienced manager, so no game in this league is easy, and it'll be a difficult test against Llanelli next week, no matter who plays Llanelli. You know, they only lost 1-0 against Haverfordwest last night, and you know, Haverfordwest are an extremely very good team, and you know, they run them close. So every game Llanelli won't ease up. Terry Boyle won't allow them to just go down. They'll go down fighting, and they'll go down with respect on a weekly basis when they're turning out to play all these teams that they've got to play.
I don't know if you saw his interview after the game last night, Terry Boyle, and he came out with an absolute corker when he said we're going to have the longest pre-season ever starting now. I thought that was really good. Corner kick to Briton Ferry into the last 2 minutes, and it's Cian Jenkins, a goal now for the home side. It would be really, really dangerous as that just veers off Ibrahim, and it goes for another corner kick.
Yeah, it's a great left-footed in-swinging corner. It's really hard to deal with. Joel's got a fist on it there on the edge of the 6-yard box, and he's done really well to take the ball off someone's head there. So he's got another one coming in here as well, what he's got to deal with.
And it's Tom Price this time from the right-hand side, right-footed, clear to the far post, and well, headed away. I'm not sure how much was it.
That's fantastic defending from Ross White. You know, he's muscling the player off the ball, and it's absolutely top defending. Ross, like I said, when he moved into a right-back area, he shored them up down this side, and there Briton Ferry's attacks are more coming down the right-hand side now. So, but that's great defending by Ross. Body strength to hold him off and not give a free header away.
Just a quick telling off for Cameron Ferguson and Ollie Anderson from Mr. Jenkins, and now Tom Price. There's just over half a minute of the first half remaining, and the keeper, Torrance, he was under pressure. Effort comes in from Kieran Williams. It's still there for Tom Walters. Walters across the box. And there was a little back heel, and Torrance did well there under pressure.
Yeah, it's a fantastic shot, and Joel makes a fantastic save low down to his left-hand side here with going through a crowd of people, and Kieran Williams hits it really well, and then Joel takes the comfortable second save. But it's a great save to come through the amount of bodies that ball's travelled through. But it's still Briton Ferry pushing and trying to get that goal just before half-time.
And here's Tom Price. Price plays the ball across, and again it's Joel Torrance. And Bala, as we're into an added minute at the end of the first half, and again, what a run from Tom Price.
Yeah, the midfield is starting to dominate the game for Briton Ferry now, and that's a great shot by Tom Price and a great run, and a great save, soft hands by Joel Torrance there to collect a nice comfortable save and to get Ballard on the front foot again here now going forward.
Loose ball from Alameda Ibrahim, and it's Tom Price with the long ball forward looking for Ollie Anderson was up there. There's Walters. And the number 12, Ricky Lee Owen. He's already scored against Bala this season in the 2-0 victory here. Alex Gammond with the other goal. And this surely will be the last action of the game. We've played over the minute. And there we go. Mr. Jenkins with the final whistle. Goalless at the break. And opportunities either end of the pitch. Initially for Bala Town, for Hussein Mehaseb halfway through the half, which drew a really top save from Will Fuller. And then in the closing stages, Joel Torrance, shot from Kieran Williams, really excellent. So goalless at the break. And now highlights from last night's match between Llanelli and Haverfordwest.
Rhys, y capten, yn clirio'n uchel. Mae Cronin yn syrthio, ond does ddim trosedd yn ôl y dyfarnwr. A mae'r gwiriad i lwybr Dan Hawkins yn ffodus. Mae dal yn o'i Hawkins ar yr ail gynnig. Pennock yn arbed unwaith, ddwywaith. 2 gynnig ar ei 2 droed gan Hawkins. Pennock yn arbed y 2. Fan'na frwydro tair yng nghanol cae. Humphreys yn dod â hi. Amon, cyffyrddiad dyheig i Shepherd. Walters. Hawkins ymlaen i Amon. Dyma chi gyfle i Hwlffordd! A mae'n cael ei chlirio oddi ar y llinell gan Sean Cronin. Symudiad o'r safon ucha. Amon i ergyd heibio'r golwr, ond Cronin yn gwneud y gwaith caib ar haw. Amser gan Rhys i fesur i bas, ac am amser hefyd i Hawkins droi. Corey Shepherd. Rhy agos at y golwr. Alex Pennock yn erbyn tîm i da. Tony wrth gwrs, rheolwr Hwlffordd. Rhys, y gig hir lawr cae. Walters i fyny amdani ar flic. Mae Hawkins drwodd! Hawkins dros y bar! A mae'n gwybod y dylai fe di wneud yn well. Hwlffordd ddim yn gofod gwneud llawer i dorri'n glir, ond Cronin falle jyst yn gwneud digon. Cyfle i lanelli ymosod. Dyma Gibbings. Nildio'r meddiant. McCarthy. Gwneud yn wych. Nawr te y bas ymlaen i Amon. Amon yn croesi, a mae Hawkins ar y postyn pella, a mae Hwlffordd yn heiddiannol ar y blaen. Os yw Llanelli'n colli heno, maen nhw'n syrthio, ac maen nhw ar ei hôl i. Llanelli dim, Hwlffordd 1. Rhys yn sgubo yn effeithiol Hawkins. Mae Walters yno, mae Amon yno. Shepherd ar bas i Amon, mae'r llyman di chodi, wnaeth hon ddim cyfri. Mae'n go agos, ond Amon yn cam sefyll. Mae'n parhau yn 1-0 i'r adargleision yn y crysegwynion. Yn erbyn Hwlffordd, anillodd Llanelli i 2 gêm diwetha. 1 yn y gwpan, 1 yn y gyngor, felly mae'n obeth o hyd i'r tîm cartre wrth i Danny Williams ddangos i dryciau lawr yr asgell dde. Croesiad at y canol. Mae'n cyrraedd y capten, Joe Hopkins. Mae ergyd ymhell heibio'r nod. Tristan Jenkins yr eilydd. Yn gwarchod y bêl yn dda. Power. Lloyd yn codi ag yn ergydio, mae'n taro'r targed o leia. Mae rhaid i Llanelli sgorio o leia 2 o sgoi'r cwimp. O leia oedd hon ar y nod. Not ar geg hir lawr cae. Ran Byffwnwr neu smondach o honna, mae Hawkins drwodd! A Pennock yn achub Llanelli. Dyw amddiffyn Llanelli ddim wedi cyrraedd y safon angenrheidiol heno, a fe ddyle Hawkins di cael ei ail. Jenkins. Yn colli'r meddiant. Amon. Dyw e ddim yn cam sefyll. Mae'r golwr wedi dod oddi ar y linell. Amon y gwiriad. Mae Baker yno i'w chlirio hi. Fe ddaeth Pennock mor bell allan. Fe allai'r gwiriad na di mynd i rywle. Dwy funud sy'n weddill. O Hwlffordd yn dod eto. Amon yn gry. Amon yn ergydio, Pennock yn arbed. A cyffyrddiad rhagorol i ddwyn y bêl dan drwy'n Hawkins. 2 funud sy'n weddill, ond Pennock rhoi popeth i'r achos. Walters, y gwiriad. A dyna ni, mae'r hyn sydd wedi bod yn amlwg ers wythnosau bellach yn swyddogol. Mae Llanelli wedi syrthio o uwch gyngrair Cymru ar ôl ennill dyrchafiad y tymor diwetha. Maen nhw'n dychwelyd yn syth i gyngrair y de. Fel medde'r hen ystrydeb, di'r tabl ddim yn dweud celwydd, a gyda mo 9 pwynt o 6 gêm ar hugen, maen nhw'n syrthio cyn diwedd Chefror. Mae noson drist ar Bergsteb yn Heath. Y sgôr terfynol, Llanelli dim, Hwlffordd 1.
Croeso i sesiwn yma fe tîm Power Chair Clwb Pêl-droed Wrexham. Y nod heno di rhoi cyfleoedd i plant a pobl ifanc ac y doedden hefyd i cymrychioli y clwb. Tymor yma am y tro cyntaf, dyn ni'n chwarae yn cyngor Llanfathol. Mae tîm wedi gwneud yn arbennig yn y cyngor ers dod mewn blwyddyn yma. Erbyn hyn mae gen i 17 yn y tîm. Y diwedd dyn ni wedi ennill yn erbyn Man City. Rwy'n arbennig i gweld gwynebau y chwaraewyr ar y chwiban ola.
Caio, chdi ydi capten y tîm yma. Deitha fi pa mor bwysig ydi bod yn rhan o hyn?
Mae'n pwysig mae'n gael ni mynd allan mwy a wneud pethau efo pobl sy'n gwybod beth da ni'n mynd drwy, so mae'n gael ni mwy o cymuned. Mae'n rili di wneud fi connectio efo mwy o pobl sy'n lyfio ffwtbol a wheelchair ffwtbol hefyd. Mae pob yn wytio amdano dy Gwener. Mae pob yn sôn amdano Gwener, a even drwy'r wsos, yr unig peth o'n i'n sôn amdano di dy Gwener. Gathon ni y gadeilau newydd yma jyst cyn dolyg. Mae di wneud gwahaniaeth mawr, ac yn y gadeilau hen, oeddwn ni'n driblo a jyst symud y pel rownd, ond yn ein ti di pasio fo'n fast, which ydy'r ffordd iawn i chwarae'r gêm.
Yeah, the new chair's been a game changer. The only way I can describe it is going from playing with a leather football to playing with a new modern one. It totally changes the game for them. With the speed, it means that they can pass and shoot much better. They can get in positions quicker. It's a very technical game in terms of you can't have two players on the same team tackling one player in a certain radius. So being able to move out that radius quickly is really important. Otherwise, the referee's decision is always going to be you're having a 2v1 and it's a foul on the other player.
Heb y foundation o'r clwb a'r support o'r clwb hefyd, fysa hyn ddim yn bod yn posib. Athyn nhw'n ffeindio'r sponsor i helpu ni gael y gadeilau newydd yma.
Morgan, rho syniad i mi, be mae fod yn rhan o hyn yn golygu i ti?
Mae'n golygu fo, rili. Mae'n bwysig bod rhan y tîm. Mae'n gael fi ac yn y tîm. Mae'n gael fi i dylsleisio.
Ti di cefnogi'r clwb ers blynyddoedd hefyd yn do?
Do, cyn I fod a wain dod mewn mynd gwirionedd nhw nos bawb yn y glaw. Gel newydd gyda'i fi o bobl yn cefnogi. Wan, mae'n llawn. Byddai fi beth mamw byddai fi gallu chwarae ffwtbol. Chwarae teg I glwb a disability officer o setio o'n I fyny.
Nid pawb sy'n gallu dweud bod nhw wedi sgorio gol yn erbyn Man City, ond mi wyt ti wedi yn do?
Do, ond mae'n anwyd y gol o halfway line.
So ti'n atgorio'r winning goal o'r halfway line?
Do.
Dwi wedi gweld chdi heno yn chwarae yn y gol, so ti'n amlwg yn aml dylentog yn y gamp yma hefyd?
Wel, yn bod am hynny.
Ti'n rhy modest. Mae'r bathodyn na rwan, bathodyn Wrecsam, yn un sydd yn enwog dros y byd I gyd, yn dydi. Be mae o'n olygu I fod yn cynrychioli'r clwb?
Mae'n golygu bod ni'n representio Cymru a bod ni'n representio ffwtbol yn Cymru. Mae pob yn gwybod amdan hyn a mae pob yn dysgu mwy a mwy bob wsos really, amdan y clwb yn representio bobl yn abal hefyd. So mae'n really pwysio yr envelop really, I bob dim yn rownd y byd I gyd, so mae'n really da.
The Football Association of Wales have got a huge support structure for people wanting to set up clubs like this. The players are out there, they're just looking for a club, be that club. We are Belleview Football Club. We're Wales' first award-winning league-registered multi-ethnic and inclusion-specific football club. The reason why Belleview was founded was to provide football opportunities to anyone who's experienced barriers accessing the sport. We've had 40 different nationalities wear the badge, you know, asylum seekers and refugees from like Eritrea and Ethiopia, South Sudan, places like that. Economic migrants as well, like Tiago, one of our founding members, he moved here from Portugal for work. It is a melting pot, this whole area, where you get so many different people from so many different backgrounds. We've got people with mental health issues, people with learning difficulties. The thing that makes us unique is the fact that we don't ignore what's different about each other in order to celebrate what we've got in common.
Começou há 10 anos atrás, começamos muita gente a envolver-se, criamos esta equipa, por ter muita gente. Não sabíamos que ia durar tanto tempo, mas estamos muito orgulhosos de ter continuado assim e esperamos que dure ainda mais. Sim, eu recomendo o Belleview a toda a gente porque, como eu disse, somos uma família, tens a oportunidade de jogar para outros países, para outros clubes. É diferente, é uma coisa diferente.
Football for all should just be a mantra of every football club in the world, but quite simply it's not, because football is competitive. Once you get the competitive element of the sport, that's when you start seeing people that do face the barriers coming into the sport. You know, we've got lads here who are 20, 21 years old, they've never played for a football club in their life. What we do here is we'll take the time to actually take that player and try and bring them onto the same development curve as everyone else. So it's putting that individual player focus to make sure that everyone who comes here has the opportunity to have accessible football regardless of results.
This is my second year in Wrexham. I started training with the Belleview. I think it was in the winter, last year. The club is just like a family. Yeah, we do everything on the beach, outside the beach. Whenever we lose together. Whenever we win together.
What football can do is be a cultural exchange. The first language at Belleview is kicking a ball. So when we're in this situation and we are all kicking a ball, why don't we learn more from each other? I can learn more about the world on this little patch of grass than I can on the back of an aeroplane.
Dwi'n meddwl yn lleol, mae pobl yn gwybod ni fel yr ail clwb yn Wrexham, yn amlwg Wrexham Football Club, nhw di'r clwb fwyaf, mae pobl yn gwybod lot amdan Belleview oherwydd y gwaith da ni'n neud yn y cymuned a croeso da ni roi bobl. Da ni roi siawns i bod yn pob droed i pobl hwyrach os nhw ddim yn cael y siawns i wneud heb clwb fel Belleview bodoli rili. Yn y trachau bod ar ben ei hun, maen nhw'n dod fan a chwarae pêl-droed, ddim yn stuck indoors ar social media ac mae'n gwych i iechyd y meddwl just bod allan. Dwi'n gwybod fy hun bod ni'n mynd trwy amser drwg a oedd just cael y siawns i chwarae pêl-droed gyda pobl yn helpu cymaint. Nid just o ran iechyd, ond o ran iechyd y meddwl, massive.
Sam, you're secretary here at Belleview, you know, maybe a mile or so down the road here, there is another little football club, isn't there?
There is, yes.
That has some American and Canadian investment involved. But actually, that rings true here as well, doesn't it?
It certainly does. We've got our own American investor. He met sheep on a tour around Wrexham about the history of Wrexham and its Welsh football. He got talking to sheep and then he came to watch one of our games. From there he just kind of fell in love with the club and the ethos, and he's now been sponsoring our men's team for 2 seasons. Every time he comes to see Wrexham he makes an effort to come and see at least one of our teams play, so he's just really invested in the club and it's really nice.
If someone had told me 10 years ago that we were going to be in the situation we're in now, I would have laughed in their face. It's not easy, it's hard work running a club, you know, I know myself. Being in the position we're in now, it's worth it every single day. For the community we built, it's amazing. The Football Association of Wales have got a huge support structure for people wanting to set up clubs like this. The players are out there, they're just looking for a club, be that club. Yes,
Welcome back. There is a substitution, there's a change at the break, and Dominic McGivern is the change that Steve Fisher makes, and it's Lasana Mendes who has departed. McGivern, midfielder, 2 goals this season, one of them against Briton Ferry. And, Colin Caton, former Bala manager, who's joining me this afternoon. What do you make of the change?
Yeah, I think Lasser was struggling before the start of the game, so I think John Owen will move on to the right-hand side, and McGivern will drop into a centre midfield role, which John Owen did a job there, but he's not accustomed to playing that on a regular basis. And it might be interesting to see John now in a more comfortable position for him, playing in his usual forward position.
Well, the elements are unchanged, still raining, and there's a wind blowing from, well, right to left. So we'll most probably see Bala having a greater possession in the second half, possibly.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if the conditions were affecting the game in the first half, but you can see the swirling wind and rain is blowing towards Will Fuller's goal, so hopefully they can capitalise on that, Bala, now and try and get something going forward and get in more advanced forward positions.
And ball forward for Cameron Ferguson, but cleared away. And there's Will Bell with a huge up and under, which possibly would have been more relevant in the pitch on the far side over there. Walters, now then, this is Kieran Williams to Kian Jenkins. Jenkins, ball whipped in by Williams once again. And it was Walters who was there. And the second half, Colin, starting in the same vein as the first half.
Yeah, great ball into the box by Kieran Williams, and a good clearance by Nelson there. But it started the same as the first half here. Briton Ferry in and around the 18-yard box of Ballatown, and it's a poor foul to give away by McGivern there, where he's committed the foul, trying to pinch there really and pulling him down. It's a dangerous area to concede a free kick, especially early in the second half, sorry.
Yeah, and it's the first contribution by Dominic McGivern. So it provides the opportunity for Kian Jenkins, left-footed. So this will be whipped into that corridor of uncertainty. Big men up from the back. You can see Cooper just jostling for position. And it was Alex Gammond who was in there. And I think it was the captain who got the last touch.
Yeah, it's a great delivery in. Ricky Owen is headed over the bar there, but Luke Cooper was in the better position. He should have screamed for it really, but it's difficult to let chances like that go when you're up in the air and you're committed, so he's going to go for the header.
And I think that's the point that Ricky Owen was making. He didn't hear the shout from Ollie Cooper, or from Luke Cooper, I should say. It wouldn't be Ollie Cooper. As Ibrahim picks possession up and tries to motor past Kian Jenkins. And, well, poor challenge by Ibrahim.
Yeah, it's a silly foul. Just that, you know, if he just jockeys him into the corner there, they'd have a Bala throw in or something. Now they're going back 30 to 60 yards back by a silly foul, and the goalkeeper's going to punt it back into Bala's half. It's crucial that you don't invite unnecessary pressure into your own half, especially with conditions like this.
And the wind has dropped somewhat. You can see the flags on the far side fluttering. He's just headed away by Will Bell. What will Steve Fisher have told the Bala players at half-time, Colin?
Well, if the wind is as bad, as what it looks out there, he'd be happy to defend that half and go in 0-0. But he'd be really happy away from home, you know, not to concede and try and get one as the game goes on. But they've still got a lot of defending to do here. And Briton Ferry are playing on the front foot like they did most of the first half.
Williams, lovely ball to Walters. Walters looking for the run of Kieran Williams once again. Cleared out for a throw-in. Briton Ferry failed to score in the last two games. But, they've had a red card in each of those games, finished with 10 men on both occasions. It was Sam Snaith last week at Flint, 2 yellow cards. So they want to keep 11 players on the pitch, and they'll also want to find the back of the net. The closest they've come is a couple of efforts in the first half, one from Kian Jenkins and one from Kieran Williams. Brought some smart saves from Joel Torrance, who's looking to keep his 8th clean sheet of the season. Jack Fanning, who's looked very comfortable at the back, the Swansea low knee. Ball forward, Anderson took a heavy touch, and then there was a coming together with Nathan Burke. Yellow card for Nathan Burke, and that was a bit harsh, Col, surely.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think Nathan's come off worse there. I think it's definitely a free kick, but I'm not sure how Nathan's hurt himself there. He's hobbling quite bad away from it. But it's another silly foul that they've committed in their own half, and they've got to defend it again.
5 minutes played of the second half. Ball lifted in by Kieran Williams, runs all the way through as Luke Cooper just asks the question, was he impeded by Olamide Ibrahim? Well, he's asking the question.
Yeah, not sure, just a good ball in, but Anderson just goes there by himself unmarked. Will Bell's got to mark him. If he gets on the end of that, it's a free header at goal. The marking for Bala in the box is not great.
And was there a tug there by Nelson Digber on Luke Cooper? That's what the appeal was, as the ball runs all the way through, and Jack Fanning just clears the ball away. And you were mentioning that on Monday night on S4C, you'll be able to see all the highlights of the weekend's games in the JD Cymru Prem, and all the best action from the Adran Gennaro Trophy Cup final between Wrexham and Cardiff. That's at 25-10 on Monday night. Next games for these two sides, and Briton Ferry, well, they go to Cardiff Met next Friday, whereas Bala, they entertain Llanelli, and then they're away at Flint Town United on the 13th of March, which could be a crucial game. I mean, there is a possibility that Flint could be 10 points ahead by that stage. So huge games coming up. Efforts coming in from Tom Walters, comfortable for Joel Torrance, who launches a long ball forward, looking for Cameron Ferguson, and that shows you the wind there, Cole, doesn't it?
Yeah, Joel normally can't reach with one bounce into the 18-yard box there. It's a great ball there from the full-back into Ross White again, just putting him off a clear header. And Joel's caught it well and sent them down the other side of the pitch. But they've got to do more of that, but Joel's got to hit it into better areas. And as a team, they've got to get up the field and, get into areas where they can get a chance of getting in the box.
I don't know about you, Cole, but there's just, I don't know, there's a feeling that one goal either way could be enough. Whoever gets that first goal, and they could hang on possibly and take the 3 points.
Yeah, definitely. Whoever concedes the first goal here, mentally, can they cope with it, with the conditions they're all fighting at the moment to try and get it? But it's really difficult to soak a goal up once you concede and then try and go and get it, especially in conditions like this, because lads, feel sorry for themselves and stuff. So it's important, whoever gets the first goal, that they react both ways to deal with the goal, or if they scored it, to go on and get another one.
Cian Jenkins with the long throw, not dealt with comfortably, headed or veered in by Tom Walters. Mahasib took a chance there, got away with it, and it's Cooper again. Good header again by the Bala defence, headed away only as far as Tom Price, who's that fulcrum in midfield for Briton Ferry. Jenkins, Kieran Williams whips one into the box, it's loose, it falls to Walters on the volley, no stopping that. Joel Torrance, no chance at all. Tom Walters, his 9th goal of the season, he walloped that one. And with 10 minutes of the second half played, it's the cross by Gammond, the volley by Walters, and the home side lead.
It's another ball into the box. You can't keep absorbing the amount of balls that they've conceded. It comes off Nelson and his man, and then Harry Dean lets Walters come off him and spin and shoot. Harry Dean's got to lock on there and get tight and block the shot, but he's given half a yard in the box, and Walters has finished it magnificently well, and you know he's taken a great chance, and it's going to be interesting now to see how both sets of players react. You know, obviously Briton Ferry are going to be on a massive high, and Bala have got to react to that to show some resilience in mental strength and stuff to go and get an equaliser and maybe a winner on. But you know, if Briton Ferry if they're allowed to let Briton Ferry keep putting balls in the box, that's what's going to happen. Eventually a ball's going to fall to you, like it did with Walters, and he's finished it excellently.
And now we'll see the character of the Bala Town players as Digba just launches a big clearance upfield. And they're cleared again by Will Bell. Hopeful punt upfield looking for Mahasib. Can he keep the ball in play? No is the answer. And as things stand, Briton Ferry are up to 32 points and up to 8th position in the table. They've leapfrogged Cardiff Met before Cardiff Met face Flint Town United in about 3/4 of an hour. So it's Haverfordwest on 36 as it stands. Briton Ferry on 32, Cardiff Met on 30, and then Flint on 28, and Bala, they remain on 24 points, and just confirmation that Llanelli were relegated last night on 9 points. Only the second team in the history of the Welsh Prem to be relegated in February. Airbus were the other side. So Bala, they've got to step it up, Col.
Yeah, definitely. They've played better since they've conceded than what they did beforehand. So you know, there's good interchanging passes there in the middle of the field, and a ball which Cameron Ferguson's not read there, but they've reacted well to the goal, to be fair. But you know, it's important now that they have to go and get another one to get back in it. But Briton Ferry, you know, have been really good and played to the conditions much better than what Bala have.
And body language is so they mustn't let their heads drop, and you can see the zip that it's given to Briton Ferry. They've certainly upped their game in the second half and possibly dealt better with the conditions.
Yeah, definitely. It looks torrential rain there, and you can see the shirts are just hanging off them. But it's important now that Bala defend really well for the next 10 minutes and, you know, try and get themselves back in the game. But obviously Briton Ferry are looking to go and get that second goal and maybe kill the game off.
Bates. Digba just loses out, and crunching challenge there by Harry Dean. And just something like that can spark the team, can't it?
Yeah, definitely. It's a great challenge, and you know, he's a young lad from Wrexham. Harry Dean being let go by Wrexham, and he's done ever so well. When I've only seen him in one of the games for Bala, and he was very good in that game. And just like I say, but he's been at fault for the goal here with giving him Walters half a yard, and that's the difference in this game.
Yeah, eyebrows were raised when he was released by Wrexham. He'd starred in the youth team, and he was a regular in the second team for Wrexham. But Steve Fisher did well to pick him up.
Yeah, he's done very well adjusting to the physicality of the Welsh Prem. It's difficult for lads to come through an academy system and deal with men's football, but Harry's done really well. He's a Wrexham lad, and he's done really well, and it's a progression in his football career that he keeps moving forward and dealing with it. But he's definitely not shy of a good tackle.
Bala just pegged back, and we understand that John Owen and Hussein Mahasib shortly going to be replaced by Jacob Tarashenko and Connor Evans, and now those changes I think will take place. So the Australian Jacob Tarashenko comes on for John Owen, and the loanee from Carnarvon Town, Connor Evans, comes on to replace Hussein Mehaseb, and necessary changes, Colin.
Yeah, he's got to do something to spark a bit of life into it. Connor Evans, I haven't really seen much of him, really, to be fair. He's on loan from Carnarvon, and Steve Fisher's told me that he's quite good, and he's going to add something more firepower to them. But this is where he's got to come to the mantle and try and get something for them. You know, if he's on the bench, he's got to show why he was on the bench now, and he's got 30 minutes to show why he should be playing on a regular basis.
Well, he's a willing runner, as you can imagine, as you can see there, Connor Evans. He will close defenders down. That's what he tended to do in his Carnarvon days. And he also knows where the back of the net is, but maybe not so good at the defensive duties. As Ross White under pressure just clears the ball away. And possibly Steve Fisher's looking at the Tosha Keegan combination up front, Cole, between Cameron Ferguson and Connor Evans.
Yeah, it's Cameron's been in really good form, but he hasn't had a chance. He's been starved of any supply into his area. Another throw-in coming into the box.
An hour played, and it's Tom Walters' goal in the 55th minute that gives the home side the lead, as Tom Price just looks to play the ball into the box, and there was good defending there again by Ross White.
Yeah, Tom Price and Ricky Owen have come out and dominated the game, really, for Briton Ferry. They are there left and right of the box, and you know, they're picking up every seconds, and winning all the second balls, and that it's keeping Briton Ferry up the field.
Jenkins just launches the ball into the box, just cleared away, and he comes once again. Opportunity. It was an opportunity there for Jack Fanning at the back now. Then Cameron Ferguson just waits for the helper. Surely there was a long ball looking for Jacob Tarashenko, and a better ball, and he'd have been in there. Luke Cooper just telling Ricky Lee Owen where to go. Typical Lee Cooper. Long ball forward by Alex Gammond. Falls on the edge of the area. Tom Walters, the goal scorer. It's his goal that separates the sides. Lovely ball to Louis Bates. He's got space to measure the cross, looking for Ollie Anderson, but Will Bell, his presence was enough there, Colin.
Yeah, great play down the right-hand side with Walters, and it's great play by Walters, and Louis Bates puts a great ball in, and that's the difference from conceding and not. Will Bell's locked on there, and it's impossible for him to adjust his body to put the ball in the net.
And dare I say it, Colin, that Briton Ferry look more likely to score a second than Bala Town do to score a first.
Yeah, I thought the wind would have helped Bala out to get some attacks going, but Briton Ferry have started on the front foot straight after half time, and they've done really well to get the goal and create more chances. But here's Bala in that area which they've not got in many times.
Great play by Ibrahim. Did well to keep the ball in play, and Price, long ball forward looking for Ollie Anderson. Now then it's Anderson just waiting for the assistance, launches the ball. Oh, poor. And I think possibly, Colin, and it's that lack of creativity, isn't it, in midfield. Sam Billington not playing today. He's the top assist. He's only got 4, and 3 of them in one game.
Yeah, I think it was against Flint. I watched that game, and Liam Higgins is not available today, and Sam Billington's not available. So Liam Higgins is the top player that's spent most of his career at Everton, and I think he's pulled out through illness, and Sam Billington the same with some bug. So, but there's nothing you can do with that. Sam Billington's an excellent player, so is Liam Higgins, but still, you've still got enough calibre on this pitch to put a better showing in than what the Bala lads have done so far.
Connor Evans wins the corner kick, and it's the captain Nathan Burke who scurries over as we approach the 65-minute mark in the second half. A goal now, and we'd have a very, very interesting final quarter of the game. The signal from the captain. It's a good one, looking for Will Bell. Oh, that was the opportunity possibly, and he knows it. There's Will Bell. Clear chance for the centre-back.
Yeah, it's a great delivery in by Nathan Burke. Will Bell's timed his run really well, got in between two players, and he's caught it straight on the front of his forehead, where he's got to go and glance it into the back stick or across the front of the front post. But it's promising chance for Bala, and one of not many chances that they've created so far.
Well, I'm sure they're watching the game at the Essity Stadium on the big screen in the porter cabin there. And well, both sets of supporters, Flint Town United and Cardiff Met, will be hoping, crossing everything, that the score remains the same. It would be a huge boost to Flint Town United and to Cardiff Met if Briton Ferry can win this one. And as we were saying, Bala's next game's home against Llanelli, away against Flint, and then they face Haverfordwest away before they face Cardiff Met at home. And well, possibly by then it could be too late. Last two games away at Llanelli, and last game of the season, Colin, will be a reverse of this one on the 18th. Final game day is on the 18th of April, and it'll be Bala who entertain Briton Ferry, but quite possibly could be all over by then.
Yeah, there's lots of points to play for, and Steve Fisher, if this result stays the same, he'll keep fighting till the end. So will Ryan Valentine, and they'll keep fighting till the end to try and amend the situation that they're in.
Walters falls in the box, and it's in the back of the net, and it's Ollie Anderson with a second. And you were talking about fight there, Colin Caton, and he saw it in bucket loads from the home side. Ball played in, Walters with a determination, as was Ollie Anderson. He was more determined than the defender, and surely it's all over.
It's another good ball into the box. Walters pulls onto the back stick, headers it across goal. Harry Dean's marking again at the back post, and Will Bell and Nelson have not reacted to the second ball. Joel Torrance maybe got to get out of lock a bit quicker and find themselves 2-0 down, whereas now it's a real tough uphill ask now with 23 minutes to go on the clock.
Well, halfway through the second half, and the second goal for Briton Ferry, and it's a long way back now for Bala Town, figuratively and literally. It's a long way back in the game, and it'll be a heck of a long journey back up north for the players. And you do fear for Bala Town, Colin.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult for the players and obviously the management and stuff. But they've got to keep going and fighting and believe, and it's not over until mathematically it's finished. And there's so many points to play for. This is people saying it's going to be difficult for them, but the results in the league are all different on a weekly basis. So it'll be if they can put a run together and get Liam and Billington back, then they'll be in a lot stronger place with the team than what they are today. They've come down south with a patched up squad, really, with their better forward creativity players not available.
Well, after today, there are 6 games remaining, 18 points to play for both sides, and the live table, Bala are 4 points adrift of Flint Town United. So the 2:30 kick-off at the Essity Stadium, between all eyes will be on that one now.
Yeah, definitely. Every game's tough. Lee Fowler will be looking into trying to capitalise on this, but it's difficult. It's difficult mindsets with lads if they concede, or Flint will go into it complacent that they've maybe, already kept themselves in the league. But there's too many points many points at stake to say who's going down or who's staying up at this moment. There's a lot of situations, twists and turns left in this season.
1 win in 10 for Bala Town. They'll need to change that one, definitely. is Kieran Williams. He's had a good game. He's been creative in midfield. Tom Price has done the enforcing work, and that's allowed Kieran Williams just to pick the loose ball and up in midfield. Cian Jenkins, he's seen a lot of the ball out on the left-hand side there. And Tarashenko just picks the ball up for Bala Town, wearing his gloves, the Australian. And poor ball, just too much on that one for Ross White. And Ross White's reaction says it all, Colin.
Yeah, Ross has put a real shift in here. You see him, he's absolutely covered in mud, and you know he's fought for everything. Ross, you can't fault him, but there's little incidents in the game which give you the chance to score on that, and Walters has done really well in both goals. And they've capitalised on Harry Dean's side, which we spoke about in the first half, about Ross White moving to a right back to shore things up, and they've been caught out down Briton Ferry's left hand side. But here's Bala on the attack now,
and it's Cameron Ferguson, languid long leg back to Harry Dean. Dean, that's a lovely ball down to Tarashenko under pressure from the captain Alex Gammond, and the last touch came off Tarashenko, and Jacob Tarashenko just can't believe it.
I'm not sure if I think it could be the right call, but not sure. It's a job to say, really. It's come off both of their legs at the same time, so I think if he's going to give it with both of them touching it at the same time, I think it's got to be a goal kick. But the number 9, Tarasenko's done well since he's come on, looked quite lively there in and around the box, and you know he tried to get inside the box, but Cooper's Gammond obviously he's done well to nullify it and goal kick again and back into the middle of the field.
Well, in your day, Colin Caton, you were very, very fortunate to have Chris Venables as your target man, and blimey, he did well for you, didn't he?
Chris is the best player that's ever played in the Welsh Prem in my eyes, but we've had some really good centre forwards. Leon was one of them as well, and we've had some excellent players over the years. George Newell last year was very good. Steve Fisher making another change here now.
It's the American Tanner Dogan who is coming on for his second appearance off the bench. The American from St. Louis in Missouri. Bit more cosmopolitan than your day, Colin Caton?
Yeah, I think it's he's signed quite a few lads from a lot of different places, really, but it's his hands have been tied a bit, so it's difficult for him to get a lot of local lads. There's not many lads in the Cymru Alliance that could step up to play at this level, so you know he's had to recruit from outside the area, so his recruitment's been good, to be fair, but you know he just needs to see if he can get something out of this game. You know, the next goal's crucial in the game. If Briton Ferry get it, then more or less it's done and dusted, but if Bala get it, you know, it could be a scary last 10 minutes for Briton Ferry to deal with.
It was Olamide Ibrahim who departed for Tanner Dogan to come on. Now it's Cian Jenkins, takes all the corner kicks from the right-hand corner, and he'll play it in left-footed and to the back of the box, where it was Luke Cooper. Long ball forward. Now then, here's Tarashenko. Tarashenko sees the goalie off his line. No, just marginally over the bar. And Will Fuller, rueful smile. And he was worried there, was Will Fuller.
Yeah, it's a great opportunist shot for Tarasenko. I thought, with Fuller looking there, I thought it was in, but it wasn't far over. And Lee Fuller nearly got caught out there, but you know, just a little bit lower it was in, but just great opportunist chance, really. Would he have been better travelling with it? I'm not too sure, but it's a positive, and since he's come on, he's done really well, linking up well with Cameron Ferguson.
Steve Fisher, who's made 4 changes. John Owen, Olamide Ibrahim, Losana Mendes and Hussein Mishasseb have departed. Andy Dyer hasn't changed his lineup at all as we approach the 75-minute mark. And why would you? when the team's playing so well. As Price just whips the ball over to the far side. And not surprised that any changes have been made by the home side, Col?
No, I think they've played really, really well. Steve Fish is chasing the game to try and get back in it. Briton Ferry are 2-0 up, so he's happy with the performance. I think they've bossed the midfield. And Steve Fish is trying to get a goal or to try and switch things to see if anything can change, give them a bit of life. But it's there's Harry Dean standing off the player again, inviting him to shoot. But yeah, Andy will be over the moon with this performance and obviously the scoreline.
And it was Ricky Leo in with that effort after Louis Bates just bought a good save out of Joel Torrance to keep the score at 2 goals. First by Tom Walters on 55 minutes. And the second by Ollie Anderson on 67 as Luke Cooper just cleans up there. There's just a moment of worry for Andy Dyer possibly. And those changes by Steve Fisher of bringing Connor Evans and Jacob Tarashenko just freshen things up, and you can see that in Bala's play.
Yeah, the subs have done really well for Fisher since they've come on.
Yeah, that was the effort from Bates. Comfortable save for Joel Torrance, but once again, as you said in commentary there, Col, Harry Dean just possibly being caught short.
Yeah, he needs to get tighter. It's fine margins. And like I say, he's got to get tighter to stop the shot. He can't invite people to shoot or invite people to get across your goal with headers and stuff. And I think they've played on the left-hand side a lot of the time this half. Maybe Andy Dyer's pinpointed at half-time. And Walters has come onto the right-hand side.
Into the final 15 minutes. And Briton Ferry comfortable. Ahead by 2-0. The two front men, Tom Walters and Ollie Anderson. Anderson being watched by a scout, we understand. Poor ball by Tom Walters, just pushed the pressure on Louis Bates into pressure from Jacob Tarashenko, and then cleared by Luke Cooper. Digbert just had a hold of Ollie Anderson. Well, next week it's the Nathaniel MG Cup final. And at Penabont between the New Saints and Barrytown, live on S4C. Programme starting at 5 o'clock. And that will be interesting. TNS going for the double, not in the FA Cup, of course. It'll be a league and Nathaniel Cup double. New Saints nailed on for the title, Colin.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure how many points now they are cleared at 13, is it? Or 12 points clear. So, Craig's done a fantastic job there over the years. It's relentless what they do. And they'll be...
substitution for the home side. And it's Ollie Anderson, the second goal scorer, to be replaced by the manager's son. And it's Rio Dyer. So Ollie Anderson hasn't done much wrong, has he, Colin?
No, he did really well. He was starved of good possession in the first half, but he's done well in the second half, and he's been a thorn in the side for Nelson and Will Bell to deal with him, and he's pulled them about a bit, and his movement's good, and Walters he's linked up really well with him in the second half, and that's been the difference really, the forwards in the game. Walters and Anderson's movement and taking their chances has been that's what gets you results, and that's what puts points on the board.
And really those are the only two forwards that Andy Dyer had fit and available. Ollie Anderson and Tom Walters. Sam Snaith, of course, sent off last week. Ruben Davis has been out injured. Corey Herford's back. and on the bench after being out for a few months with an injury. So Andy Dyer has done really well, going down to the bare bones.
Yeah, spoke to Andy in the week, and he was worried about the game, the physicality that Bala were going to cause them, but Andy set the team up really well, and I know he had a couple of fitness tests with lads this morning prior to the game, so they've come through that, a lot of them, which you mentioned. So, you know, Andy's done a really good job here. I think they've worked hard in training to do well to set themselves up.
Into the last 10 minutes as Nathan Burke whips the free kick in, headed away by the number 12, Ricky Lee Owen, doing the hard graft at the back, and Bala have got 10 minutes just to get a point out of this one. Ball's disappeared behind the wall, and Nathan Burke just has to wait. Now Tarashenko, he's got some space on the edge of the box there. That's why Rio Dyer just trots back. And Burke, oh, it's a good one to put the pressure. Digba, and it's in the back of the net. It is in the back of the net, and I think the last touch was it Connor Evans? It was Connor Evans at the far post, and there's hope yet again for Bala Town.
Yeah, I think it's a great ball into the box by Nathan Burke, and I think Nelson gets his head on it to head back across, and Connor Evans has finished it off with a proper striker's goal there, waiting for the knockdowns to come back across, and a great header by Nelson, and they're back in it. I said, if Bala can get one, then it's going to be an interesting 10 plus added minutes on now. If, you know, Briton Ferry, Bala are on the front foot now, so the next 5 or 10 minutes so important to two teams. Who goes and gets something out of it?
Well, you can see from the flags there that Bala, they've got the wind behind them, and they've got the wind behind them literally and figuratively. And well, as you said earlier on, Col, a goal in the last 10-15 minutes and make the home side and their supporters very, very nervy. And just the boost that Bala needed, a goal from Connor Evans, his first goal for Bala Town since joining on loan from Caernarfon. Tarashenko. And Tarashenko and Connor Evans, they have made a difference since coming on.
Yeah, Connor Evans has been lively down the right-hand side. Not really seen him play for Caernarfon, but with them spending big and bringing the big guns in, Connor's been made available to Fisher to take in on loan. So it's a great opportunist goal for him, and a good striker's goal. Reacting to get across the back post, and they're in here now.
But a poor ball down the flank for Caernarfon. That one runs out from Dom McGivern. Seen very little of Dom McGivern, really. Had to look there, to be honest with you, Colin, who the number 6 was. He's been on since half-time. Could only be maybe his second or third touch in the second half.
Yeah, I'm not really seen him at all. But the game's they're not really playing through midfield. It's a bit one way the other, and back to and fro, really. But it's important now that if Ballard is going to try and get anything out of it, they've got to get Tarasenko and Cameron Ferguson in the game.
Well, they've got at least 10 minutes, haven't they? There's 7 of the regulation 90, and there's got to be a minimum of 3, if not 4 or 5, for all the substitutions that have taken place.
Yeah, definitely. There's got to be 5 plus 6 minutes added on. I think there's been 5 or 6 subs being made. So that goals give Ballard a bit of life, and they look as though they're going to try and get something out of it now, whereas before, until that cornered and that set play, Briton Ferry have switched off. Not won the first phase and not won the second phase, and Nelson's headed back and Connor's finished it. So it's important now that each team looking to get something out of it is focused and manages the game really well.
And neither physio has been on either in the first half or the second half, so there will be no injury time. It'll unless something changes in the last 6 minutes or so. Walters goes down, and well, he just can't believe it. He went down like a sack of spuds, and he engineered that one.
Yeah, I think Walters has thrown a little elbow here as he goes in. It's a bad challenge. He's put it straight across his face. He's lucky there that he didn't connect with him. He swung the left arm. it's not great to see. I don't think he's got any malice in him, Walters, but I just think he's swung the arm, and he's lucky that he's got away with one there.
And he didn't even get a yellow card, and the referee had the best view in the stadium of that one. And Rob Jenkins has decided not to show a yellow card, but you saw there when Ross White went to get them, you see the water just splashing up on the far side. And just to remind you, there was a pitch inspection. Pitch is heavy, pitch inspection at 10:30. And pitch clearly deemed playable as Walters just draws Digba out. A ball from Rio Dyer, and wasteful. He had Ricky Lee Owen in the 18-yard box. Bit wasteful.
Yeah, Walters has had so much joy down this right-hand side. He was playing as a 2 with Anderson in the first half, and they had freedom to go across the line, but Walters has pulled out a lot onto this right-hand side and created 2 goals from this side. He's still getting more joy. They've got to nullify that if they're going to get something out of the game, Bala.
Well, we're into the last 5 minutes, and well, the momentum is with Bala after Connor Evans' goal after 81 minutes. Corner kick played in, headed back across. Goal to the far post, and a poacher's goal from Connor Evans on loan from Carnarvon Town. And well, it'll be game management now, won't it, from Briton Ferry? They will play every trick in the book, Colin Caton, to waste time.
Yeah, definitely. They'll try and see it out now and close it up and look after it, get themselves free kicks and things, whereas Bala are looking to try and play and try and get themselves going forward and try and get in that attacking final third to see if they can get an equaliser in the game.
Walters, Burke out looking for Harry Dean, just a bit too much on that one, and the opportunity goes, but every time Bala cross that halfway line, the butterflies will be in the stomach of the Briton Ferry fans.
There's a massive 10 minutes here to go for Bala. If they can get something out of it, the point could mean so much to them, but the defeat could be, you know, really hurtful, and you know, it's going to put a spanner in the works for them, really.
Yeah, it's 2 balls on the pitch. It's a massive 10 minutes in the course of the game, but it's also a massive 10 minutes in the course of the season, with 6 games remaining. The battle at the bottom. It's a soggy one today, but it's certainly heating up. And Briton Ferry, well, they're not out of it. Flint Town United, they're not out of it. And well, you could argue, as you were saying, mathematically there, Colin, that none of the bottom 6 are out of it. Rio Dyer just goes down. Referee tells him to get up.
Yeah, I think it's a dive. He did catch him, but Rio's gone over quite late. But it's not. Rob Jenkins has refed it really well there and seeing what Rio was doing. Rio's lucky really that he's not gone and booked him, but you don't want to see diving, you don't want to see booking, so Rob's managed it really well.
And I think he's managed the game well. Fair play to Rob Jenkins. We've very rarely named him. He's shown the odd yellow card, but he's let the game go, and he's seen where players have been trying to fool him, and he's not been fooled at all as Rob Jenkins.
No, he's a very good referee. I think he's a Wrexham lad, and when he first came into the league, I had my doubts about him, but he's done ever so well over the last few years, and he's a really approachable guy, and he's done very good, and you know, he's one of the top referees in the league, and I think he's refereed today's game without really any bad tackles going in, and it's not stop-start, so he's let the game flow, and that's a credit to Rob Jenkins as well.
Approaching the final minute. Is there a twist in the tail? Was Luke Cooper just clears a long ball upfield, Digba, and clears the ball away. No, long ball forward, and we're into the last minute. All eyes will be on the 4th official, and what number will be shown on the electronic scoreboard, and that's why Cian Jenkins just pulls his socks up, just takes his time. He'll dry the ball most probably. He'll wait. And in front of Andy Dyer, who will be a very, very relieved manager if the final whistle goes and the score is like this. He must be a bag of nerves down there, Colin.
Yeah, Andy's a composed guy, and he's set his team up really well. He'll be a bit frustrated that they've given a free header away. Apart from that, they've not really had a chance in the second half, Bala. But you give a corner away, you give a free header away, and an opportunist goal at the back, and then you go from being comfortable 2-0 to hanging on to try and see the game out to keep the status in the Welsh Prem.
Well, what do we know about football, Colin Caton? We said, what did we say, 4, 5, 6 minutes? And it's a number 3 up there.
Yeah, 3 minutes. I thought there would have been a lot more than that. Apparently it's 30 seconds a sub, so 5 subs, 2.5 minutes, plus other stuff that's gone on. But, you know, like I say, Rob Jenkins has got the stopwatch, and we must be wrong.
Well, it'll be a 3 minutes that'll crawl for Andy Dyer, and it'll whiz by for Steve Fisher. You know, fair play to his side. They've stayed in it. Their heads didn't drop too much after he went 2-0. And that goal from Connor Evans has given them hope. There's a ball looking for Cameron Ferguson, and dangerous game played by Jack Fanning. Now then, this is clearly an opportunity as Harry Dean, he sprints over to the far side. As one of the Bala subs just runs down. No ball boys here. And now then, is this the twist in the tale that we were expecting? Harry Dean, all the big men. It's a surprise that Joel Torrance isn't up there. Comfortable header for Will Fanning. And for Jack Fanning, I should say, ball back into the box. Connor Evans was in there once again. And it's all hands to the pump at the back for Briton Ferry. Excellent clears. And again, it's Luke Cooper. Falls in the box. Digba was in there, and it's Fanning with the clearance. And I think, is that an offside? Is it? Yeah.
I'm not sure if he's given a head injury. I'm not sure. I think Rob stopped play.
There's a bit of a confusion here. Is it? What's going on here?
I think he stopped for a head injury. I think someone goes down here on that challenge.
Yeah.
And then he puts hands on his head, and Bala are frustrated with it, but the importance of the head injury is more crucial than the result.
Indeed, it was Tanner Dogan, the substitute, with possibly his first contribution, is going down as we're into the last 30 seconds. 30 seconds as Tom Walters, well, he didn't take the opportunity, and you could hear Andy Dyer just screaming corner, and that's what Walters does, and it comes off. Well, Harry Dean and Colin Caton, it looks as if that's that.
Yeah, I think Walters has been outstanding, and I think Jack Fanning has been outstanding as well. I think they're the two standout players in the midfield for Briton Ferry. Have seen them through it.
We've played the 3 added minutes. Referee just has a look at his watch. Surely this will be the last action. The Briton Ferry players just celebrate as if they've won the league. And you can see on the Bala Town players' body language what it means. Firmly ensconced in the bottom 2. There's a 4-point gap to Flint Town United, who could go 7 points clear if they win against Cardiff. It was goals from Tom Walters after 55 minutes that gave the home side the lead, doubled by Ollie Anderson on 67. There was a ray of hope for Steve Fisher's side on 81 minutes. Connor Evans with his first goal of his Bala Town tenure, but it's finished here. Final score, Briton Ferry 2, Bala Town United 1.